nobody's perfect. David makes mistakes. The most important thing is really think about how can I move from a place where I'm upset, not happy with that outcome, into a place that's positive. So I see this a lot with players that people are wanting to figure out the positive way to basically influence behavior, their outlook. I'm really creeping into like positive and negative self-talk. It's one of the biggest things that we see with athletes, and there's a lot of different ways the guys can enforce this, but really there's some key instances that we see as advisors and as agents that can creep in throughout the year, whether it's during tryout season, in the middle of the season, and says things can progress and maybe your games right there, things start to get away from you. So there's two things that we look at primarily. It's the positive talk and the negative talk. Positive self-talk does a lot of things for you, like boost your confidence. So using encouraging phrases like, I'm trained for this, I'm capable, I'm strong enough to do this, I'm ready. It helps improve your focus. Ways that you can do that are staying present, kind of staying in the moment, right? It's easy for us to get into future think. So a lot of the time, player just one shift at a time, one sequence at a time. Football is one save at a time, right? Stay present, don't worry about what happened or what's coming, or what happened prior, and then this can increase your resilience. So if you really think about it, right? Nobody's perfect. People are the best athletes in the world. Steve Crosby's made mistakes. David makes mistakes. Guys rebound, right? So the most important thing is really think about how can I move from a place where I'm upset, I'm happy with that outcome, into a place that's more positive. And really using positive self-talk can help us rebound from those. Helps him bounce back quickly, right? Ultimately, this enhances motivation. So when we talk about good positive self-talk, or it's supporting your voice, it's that coach that's really specific to you, right? Coach can give you this sometimes. Your parents can give you this sometimes. We can give it to you, but like when you're in the moment and it's just you on the ice in the moment, it's really important that you can find a way to self-manage that. And so really supporting that and voice and importance of that. One of the things that I work with my athletes a lot on is creating a persona, right? So Kobe had this Mamba mentality. They've written a lot about this. The big one for my guys, what is that persona? What is it like when you step on the ice? Who do you become? What's the athlete that is stepping out there? Is it something different? Is it somebody who's powerful? Is it somebody who's confident? Creating that aura, that essence when you get on the ice, and being able to turn that on can make a huge difference in how we treat ourselves. When things go wrong or when there's adversity. Shifting gears, when we talked about negative self-talk, the biggest problem with it is it creates self-doubt. Think thoughts, I'm not good enough to do this. Why am I out here? That leads to hesitation. It can lead to poor decision-making. Negative self-talk can lead to high anxiety, fear in making those plays, that excessive self-criticism where, ultimately can lead to decreased motivation. That's a huge risk for athletes. It limits your growth. Like having a growth mindset is so important as an athlete, right? You are not the best. You might be the best player when you're younger at something. You might be the best at a certain skill, but like that evolves, changes, and so you move up and you get better. More and more people are also skilled. And they also have that ability. So it's really important that we treat ourselves with respect and have a perspective that allows us to continue to grow. That's part of this. You're not an NHL player yet. Or if you are, you're the best NHL player. Those are things that guys work on consistently to help themselves. Ultimately, negative self-talk and leaning into that can distort your reality. In reality, you're probably a really good hockey player, probably great. But, when we start to let those thoughts creep in, that's when we start to make bad plays, we start to have decision-making. That's when we start to sabotage ourselves, really. And that's self-sabotage is one of the worst things we can do as an athlete. Some ways that we can do that, and ways that we can prevent some of that negative self-talk. One, catch, check, and change. So identify when you've had that negative thought. Challenge yourself, challenge the accuracy of that, and replace it with a positive alternative, right? Look, as a goalie, so you hear this a lot, goalies like, can't stop a beach ball. That's really bad for you. So I take that to, that one got by me. Okay, that one squeaked by me. How can I replace that with a positive alternative? I'm going to have the next, I'm going to be ready for that next. And flipping that mindset and moving right into a positive shift is a huge advantage for you. Being able to do that quickly is even better. Use affirmations, positive, like little sayings, if you need to slow the game down, like slow or win. If you need to heighten your intensity, right? Like jump on it. Little things that you can tell yourself that create little triggers to help with your confidence and your framework and your mindset back in the right place. And ultimately, like working on mindfulness. I think the hardest thing as an athlete is staying present to the moment. The best athletes do it, right? Never getting too high or too low in an instant. It's just, what's the next thing? What's the next thing coming? Are we ready for the next play? Are we ready for the next shift? Are we ready for the next period? That's really hard to do. So practicing being present to the moment, especially in an era where we have a lot of social media, we have live news free now, there's a lot of stimulus. It's important that we find a way to quiet that. You put ourselves in a mindset that gives us perspective. You ultimately can avoid kind of the spiral and the negative thoughts. I'm going to challenge athletes to think through this. Think about how you want to approach this. How do you want to show up? What are some things that you can put into practice that we shared today that help you step into better positive self-talk, create a better positive self-image, and ultimately performing your best?